Hi everybody, it's Dave the Red Pill Coach, and I have completed a successful takeover of Blue Pill Professor's channel. God willing, I will be putting out content approximately every week. I'm doing this because I feel that it's time. It's been over 2 years since the professor put any new content out, and I think we have a lot to say about what the professor said previously in his Married Red Pill Basic class, which is now the professor's channel, which is now a playlist on this channel. You can view it at your leisure, and I highly encourage it. For this podcast series, I'm going to be covering different topics that we've uncovered in the last 2 years. I will be covering topics from misandry to feminism to alt-right. I will also be doing some interviews with prominent manosphere characters such as hopefully Rollo and certainly Rian Stone, the Family Alpha, and a few others. So we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to imparting information that can help you in your marriage. So I want to start out by explaining why I chose the name Red Pill Coach. Okay, I received flack for choosing this name from every direction, and I mean every direction. Everybody opposed it. The Red Pill guys opposed it. I had Gaylou Boyle. He's a senior endorsed contributor on the Red Pill. I had him instant messaging me saying, choose a name like the Man Coach. You can't take the name Red Pill because you're not Red Pill enough, I guess. And then I had, of course, my wife. Like all women, she is opposed to anything Red Pill. No, you can't do that. You're not going to get any clients if you say you're Red Pill. And then I had the moderators on the Married Red Pill forum telling me, maybe that's not a great name. So the way I see it is and I always say this, if you are getting flack from both sides of the river, I think the chances are you're over the target. I'm sticking with the name Red Pill Coach, and the rest of you guys and gals who don't like it can put a cork in it. Now, I do want to make an explanation, because when I use the name Red Pill Coach, I'm not making any claim that I am some type of uber alpha. I am here on the screen in front of you. I'm not wearing any makeup. The lighting's as good as I can get it for now. And you see the real me. No bullshit, no lies, blemishes, right there. So, to me, Red Pill means one thing, and it means truth. When you take the Red Pill, you accept the truth. That's all. It doesn't mean if you take the Red Pill that you're going to turn into a super alpha meathead who bench presses 700 pounds, or who goes to the gym 5 days a week. It simply means, in my case at least, it means that I have Red Pill knowledge. First of all, I'm a coach. And second of all, I use Red Pill knowledge in my coaching. Let me start by telling you about myself. First of all, I am a lawyer. I practiced law for 12 years as a family law attorney. I helped about 250 to 300 couples, that's 600 people when you think about it, get divorced. And I always felt bad about that, because I always felt that there were things that could be done that could have prevented the divorce. But of course, as an attorney, that's not your job. And I found the profession painful. I found it, in many cases, wrong. So I agree with you. Those of you who don't like lawyers, I hope you won't hold that against me. 2004, after practicing all this time, I had a death in the family. Specifically, my baby daughter, Catherine Joyce, died in the hospital. And I quit practicing law. Suddenly, those $300 tickets that were the most important thing to the client were not so important to me after all. I decided then and there that I was going to do something with my life. I was going to make a difference. And in fact, we had that inscribed on her tombstone. Catherine Joyce Peters, I made a difference. And she did. Because of her, I chose to quit practicing law. I returned to school. in 2006 and began a master's PhD program in medicine with Wayne State School of Medicine. I completed the master's degree there and then switched to human social behavior because that was my interest, not neurophysiology. And I studied that for another several years. I ended up being a college professor for about 8 years or so. I taught about 40 or 50 classes from topics ranging from human social behavior to social theory, social problems, advanced criminology, and a few other courses as well. Introduction to sociology and criminal justice, and so on. I also have 14 academic publications, ranging from neurophysiology to social behavior to personality disorders, all the way to medical marijuana. So I have a wide range of experiences to apply, and of course, the most important academic work is the publication of the book, Saving a Low-Sex Marriage, A Man's Guide to Dread, Seduction, and the Long Game. So, after all these degrees, I ended up with a byline that reads Dave Peters, JD for Juris Doctor or law degree, MS for Master of Science in Physiology, PhD for Doctorate in Human Social Behavior. And very soon, I will take the BCC examination. The BCC means Board Certified Coach. This is a pretty prestigious credential in the coaching field. It's probably the most prestigious credential you can receive in the coaching field. And the thing is, a lot of life coaches, they hang their shingle, they graduate from college, and they hang their shingle and call themselves life coaches. As you can hear and see, that is not the path I chose. I worked very hard, received a number of credentials, and now I'm going to have a byline that reads Dave Peters, JD, MS, PhD, BCC. So that's enough letters, I think, in order to be credible. In addition to my coach training, I have also spent several years as a blogger on various relationship blogs advising men in marriages. Now, it's important to understand the difference between blogging and coaching. And I always believed that blogging was fine because if you're wrong, you can give a guy advice and then the next guy will come along and say, that's wrong, you're full of crap. Okay, fine. So really, on Reddit, you can say anything you want and you'll be corrected if you're wrong. Well, when you're individually coaching men, you can't be wrong all the time and you can't rely on other people. And I always believed that it would be arrogant. It would be the height of hubris for one man to stand there and say, well, I'm going to tell another man how to live his life. And I was very turned off by the self-help industry, coaching, therapy, and didn't believe that it was helpful. Well, as it turns out, let me tell you my story of how I got into coaching. I was teaching and making money, but barely enough, frankly, to pay my student loans. I thought I could do better. And we were on vacation in Florida, and my wife said to me, why don't you hire a career coach? I said, what the hell's a career coach? I don't know. So I Googled it. I took the laptop down to the beach. We were on the beach in Florida, and hooked it up to our timeshare's computer, and Googled, what is a life coach? Or what is life coaching? And the first hit that came up explained the coach approach. The coach approach. And I read it, and it turns out the coach approach, let me just tell you what it is. The coach approach is that we deal, as coaches, we deal with competent, creative, whole, mentally healthy individuals. And we believe that the client has the answers within himself. That's it. That's the coach approach. But when I read it, it was like a set of fireworks went off in my head. I realized this was the solution. I'm not advising other men how to live their lives. I'm not being arrogant. I'm assuming that the client has the answers within himself. And I immediately realized how this could apply to red pill, how this would work remarkably well for so many of you guys who take the red pill and you screw it up royally. I began to study coaching. I studied coaching methodology. I've also studied marriage counseling methodologies. I've been quite disappointed with most marriage counseling methodologies, except for Gottman did something completely unorthodox and unusual in marriage counseling circles. He actually did scientific research. He didn't base his research on, equalitarian mythologies or Marxist far left ideas. He based his ideas on pure observation. And what he did is he had couples come into his love lab and he would observe them. It was a penthouse outfitted with cameras, and he would watch couples interact. And when he got all the pieces in place, he was able to predict with 94% accuracy who was going to get divorced and who wasn't. Now, how would he do this? I can't cover that today because it's a long topic and involves about 15 books that I've read. But I am going to be giving you the highlights in this podcast series because I believe, quite obviously, while red pill is truth and it has a lot to offer, it is essentially bro science, right? It's bro science. Add to it, and we can make it better. Because red pill, in particular married red pill, is very good at taking a marriage that's crappy and lousy and turning it into something that's tolerable and maybe even a little bit good. But the real goal is to take a good marriage and turn it into a great marriage. And that's where one of the missing pieces, I believe, is Gottman. So I will be primarily talking about Gottman in these podcasts. I look forward to these podcasts. I will be back next week with another one. Give me your comments below. If you want me to return to the professor's format, where you don't have to look at my ugly mug, that's fine too. You're not going to hurt my feelings. But it'd actually be easier. I had to set up a whole studio here, and it was a little bit of a pain. It would be a lot easier just to drop some slides in there and do an audio, if that's what you want me to do. Give me some ideas for future topics, and let me know what your concerns are. Let me know what your pleasure is. And I hope that this podcast series will be educational and helpful to you and your marriage. Thank you very much. You can contact Dave the Red Pill Coach at his website located at www.coachingformen.com. That's the number 4. Thank you very much.